I have a new bike. It's yellow. But it's not actually new. I found it on Marketplace. Ready for pickup just 10 minutes away from my house. I paid $50 and brought it home. Obviously, the first thing that catches the eye about this bike is the strong yellow color of the frame. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I absolutely love it. The yellow is so vibrant that it makes everything around it seem almost bleak in comparison. I've never seen anything quite like it before. Another thing that makes this bike appeal to me is the simplicity. It's a single-speed coaster brake bike. There is not a single wire to be found on it. Not for hand braking, not for gear shifting. You just pedal and brake with your feet. Easy. I'm just a huge fan of very simple bikes. The frame has some other interesting qualities too, apart from the yellow paint. It's a beautiful, lugged steel frame with a straight unichrome fork. There is no derailleur hanger and there are no wire guides, so I'm pretty sure that the frame was designed specifically for this sort of casual single-speed coaster brake setup, rather than just being a road bike frame being rebuilt into a chill town bike. But one seemingly weird decision is the dropouts. If you design a single-speed bike, you would give it horizontal backwards-facing dropouts, right? This one has diagonal road dropouts, which felt confusing to me at first. But maybe there is a good reason for it. This bike has full fenders, so if you get a flat tire and need to remove the rear wheel quickly, you can always do that without having to remove the fender first, which is nice. This is all speculation, of course. I don't know how the bike was set up when it was originally sold. I tried asking the seller, but they didn't know either. They just knew that the bike had been wasting space in their shed for a decade and a half. But it's fun to try and reverse engineer the thought process behind the design. What confuses me the most, though, are these double eyelets above the dropouts. What are they for? There are no other eyelets further up on the seat stays. Do you know? 'Cause I don't. And there is a lot that I don't know. Look here. The steel tubing sticker says CR220SP, high quality precision tube. It does not say Reynolds, Columbus, or Tang. And that's about as far as my knowledge of steel tubing goes, so I have no idea what this is. The bike branding is a little all over the place too. I'm not really sure what to even call it. The stickers on the fork just say Smith, so maybe that's the most likely name. But the head tube logo and the bigger stickers also say Bikes in Motion by Everton Smith. And then down here on the chainstay, it says Danish Quality and Design by Everton Smith. So it's Danish, whatever that entails. The wording Danish Quality and Design is a little bit vague, if you ask me. It could be handmade by a Danish frame builder, but it could also be mass-produced in China and sold by a Danish supermarket. I just don't know. And yes, I tried googling it, but it really didn't help me. I just ended up seeing a lot of ads for other bikes and Everton Football Club. I'll just call it my yellow bike for now. I would prefer to not call it Smith, because as a Swedish person, I have a difficult time pronouncing that. Smith, Smith, Smith. Whatever. If you know anything about this bike or its creator, please let me know. Let's look at some parts before we take it out for a first ride. This crankset actually takes double chainrings, but instead of that, the outside just has this chainring dork disc. I have never seen this before, and I think it's kinda cool actually. The coaster brake hub doesn't have any branding on it, but down here on the brake arm I can read Shimano, so that's good. The rims say XL70, made in France. Bonjour. I don't recognize the logo here on the pedals. I think it might say VP in a stylized logo sort of way. And here on the crankset dust cover it says Thun, Thun, which I have also never heard of. But it's the same down here on the inside of the crank arms, Thun. The stem has a little bit of a 90s mountain bike vibe to it. I quite like the look of it actually. But the handlebar itself and the grips are kinda meh. Especially the grips. they have gone pretty stale. The saddle looks cool though. It's got a healthy amount of wear and tear here on the backside. I have no idea if this was once a fancy saddle or a piece of junk. Concept Chromoly USA doesn't really narrow it down for me. Also, it's a lot stiffer than it looks. The fenders are made of plastic, yeah. But these things are made of metal at least. This chain looks narrower than what I think I'm used to seeing. It might actually be the narrow single speed standard, which would mean that both the chainring and the cogs are also narrow. I've never had narrow parts before. I'll probably throw a standard thick single speed chain on here anyways. That should be compatible and not a problem, right? But I'm not going to rush into making changes to the bike. There is a good chance that I will swap parts out later, and I have to dial in the fit at the very least before making informed decisions about that. But for now, I would just like to try it as it is, with minimal interference. Everything seems to be in working condition, except for the tires and tubes. It doesn't hold air, so I'm swapping out both. I got 2 spare tubes with the bike. They have probably also been sitting in that shed for about 15 years, but hey, if not now, when? Might as well find out immediately if they are garbage tubes. These old tires are pretty interesting too, but they look pretty broken, so I don't trust them. It's a shame because these white sidewalls would probably be really cool when pumped up. They look like 25mm tires to me, and this bike is kinda old school in that sense. Neither the frame or the rims look like they want to even look in the direction of the wider tire sizes that everyone is using these days. Good thing I have these 25mm thick slicks. I'm actually excited to use thick slicks again. It's been a while. I think they are fun and comfortable. Just don't ask about their weight. The tire is rubbing a bit against the fender here. This is a new experience for me. I decided to just open up every screw at the same time and start over. If you tinker with any one of these connections, the whole fender is affected by it, and you might start rubbing somewhere else. The fenders might have to go eventually. I'm already annoyed with having to deal with them. Plus, I probably won't be riding in the rain with thick slicks anyways. If they annoy me one more time, they're coming off. Okie dokie. Time for the maiden voyage. Oh yeah, this feels nice. Man, I couldn't have picked a nicer day for this, but I might just be a tad bit too late to get riding. The sun is already setting. Let's see if I can catch some light up on the hill. Oh gosh, the gearing is actually much higher than I expected. Someone has been riding really fast on this bike. Denmark is a freakishly flat country, so I guess high gearing always makes sense down there. But if I want to climb hills with this bike, I might need to consider foot retention. I did get a second cog with the bike, which I assume would give a lower ratio. I haven't actually counted the teeth, but I don't think I have the tools to swap cogs anyways. And this ratio is actually nice most of the time. As a fixed gear rider, I am a slow spin enthusiast after all. This next thing that I'm about to say might actually be the coolest thing about this bike. I didn't notice it until I started riding, and maybe I shouldn't be surprised because it says silence here on the top tube. But this coaster brake hub is completely silent, both while pedaling, braking and coasting. And that last coasting part is something I didn't even know was possible. Modern road bikes seem to make it a selling point that they have very loud hubs when coasting. Then they all sound different, but this one is completely silent. Maybe this silent design is less efficient or something? I really don't know, but my god, is it nice. One of the things that I love about fixed gear riding is how you can become completely silent with a well-tensioned chain. And now I also have a silent coaster brake bike. What a lovely surprise. Any noise being picked up right now by the camera is either wind, tires, shaking fenders, birds, cars, or my nose. The silent coasting is crazy. If you enjoy watching this video, you might also enjoy watching that video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.